Governor Jindal, would you like to be vice president?
No, I've got the job that I want. I'm voting for Senator McCain. I'll certainly do what I can to help him get elected. I'll do it as governor of Louisiana. We've cut 6 taxes, toughest ethics laws. We're growing jobs, lowest unemployment rates in 30 years. So we've got a lot more work down here.
So if he asked you to be on the ticket, you would say no?
He's not going to ask. We've already said in private and public, we've got the job that we want. I don't want to be vice president. I'm not going to be the nominee.
So you're ruling yourself out?
I'm going to be governor, hopefully, for 2 terms.
Little bit of window still open there.
No window's open.
There's no window. You're out. You're out. Okay. Governor Kaine, you have been mentioned as being on the short list of Senator Obama.
And my mom loves that. David, my mom loves that.
And in fact, there's been reporting, though, that people close to you have said that there have been serious conversations. Those conversations continue?
I'm not going to talk about conversations with the campaign, but as you know, I've been a co-chair with Senator Obama since February 2007 because I knew his vision for getting this nation back on track was what Americans would embrace.
And you'd accept the job?
Here's what I say. I didn't sign on to get anything about it or to be appointed anything, and I think it's very unlikely, but I've told Senator Obama I'm going to help him in whatever way he thinks I can be helpful. I think my highest and best use is right in Virginia, a state that hasn't gone for a Democratic candidate since 1964, where the polls right now show a dead heat, and Virginians very enthusiastic about Senator Obama's vision for an improved economy and a more strategic, tough, smart national security policy.
And perhaps a preview of Republican attacks against you. This was Karl Rove, former senior advisor to President Bush,
Karl Rove,
who talked last week about the prospect of you on the ticket. Let's watch.
With all due respect, again, to Governor Kaine, he's been a governor for 3 years. He's been able but undistinguished. I don't think people could really name a big, important thing that he's done. He was mayor of the 105th largest city in America. So if he were to pick Governor Kaine, it would be an intensely political choice where he said, you know what, I'm really not first and foremost concerned with is this person capable of being president of the United States. What I'm concerned about is can he bring me the electoral votes of the state of Virginia, the 13 electoral votes of Virginia.
So a lot of people will look at you and say, is he capable of being president?
David, I'm not running, so I'm not going to make a case for myself, but let me tell you what that shows is that Karl Rove doesn't know much about Virginia. Virginia's been named the best state in America for business the last 3 years. Now, maybe to Karl Rove and the Republicans, business climate doesn't make a difference. That would explain a lot about the last 8 years. Governing Magazine just said we are the top performing state government in America. Maybe to Karl Rove and his friends, government performance, competent administration, being able to respond to an emergency isn't important. To Virginians, it's important. Education Week in 2007 said we are the best state in America for a child to be raised if a child wants to have a successful life. Again, to Karl Rove, that may not be an accomplishment. Maybe children's futures aren't that important. We have a very solid state that cares about results, and because of that, this race is in play, and people are embracing Senator Obama's message.
Let's talk about one of the issues that would be important on the campaign trail, and that is abortion. Governor Jindal, this week, Senator McCain indicated that he would be open to a pro-choice running mate like former governor of Pennsylvania, Tom Ridge. As somebody who opposes abortion rights, conservative in the party, do you think that would be a mistake that would hurt Senator McCain?
Look, I think people will end up voting for who's running for president. The bottom line is this. Senator McCain has a pro-life record. He said he will have a pro-life administration. What's most important to me as a pro-life voter is what kinds of judges will the next president appoint to the Supreme Court. Are they going to be judges that will read the Constitution, or will they be judges that will try to create laws? This Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, struck down a death penalty case for Louisiana, a death penalty law in Louisiana for child rapists. We don't want activist judges that will be creating law instead of just reading the Constitution. You know, last night, Senator Obama had a chance in a church in California to talk about abortion. He said he opposes late-term abortions. His voting record says different. He's always voted for those things. I wish he would just say, honestly, he's pro-choice. He's not a pro-life candidate. With Senator McCain, we know he's pro-life. There are 2 men running for president, 2 major candidates on the ticket. We have more, as a pro-life voter, I certainly have more confidence in the judges that Senator McCain would appoint to the Supreme Court.
But Governor Kaine, on this issue, you are not entirely palatable to the left in the Democratic Party because you do support restrictions on abortion in Virginia. Would that be a political liability for Senator Obama?
Well, David, let me talk about this issue because it was mentioned in Reverend Warren's church last night. And here's the distinction between Senator Obama and Senator McCain. Senator Obama believes abortion is a grave moral issue, that we can do things to reduce unwanted pregnancy and abortion, but that we shouldn't criminalize the health care decisions of doctors and women to fight abortion. Senator McCain, on the other hand, says he wants Roe versus Wade to be overturned And that will be a step toward criminalizing the decisions of women and doctors with respect to abortion. We can reduce abortion and unwanted pregnancy in this country. We've shown it during the Clinton years. We can do it without making women and doctors criminals if they engage in abortion in that procedure. And we shouldn't use the criminal law as a blunt instrument against women and doctors in this way. We can reduce abortion through access to education, access to contraception, abstinence-focused education. All those things can help us reduce abortion.
When do you believe,
the criminal law is not the way we should do it.
When do you believe human rights begin?
Well, human rights broadly, my church teaches, and I do believe that human rights begin early in life at conception or shortly thereafter. And that is my personal belief. But I do not believe the force of the criminal law should compel others to necessarily follow that to the greatest degree. And that's why the strategy of Senator Obama is reduce abortion through education, health care access, point out the grave issue, support reasonable common sense restrictions on abortion. I think that's important. But you shouldn't be talking about overturning Roe versus Wade or criminalizing women and their doctors.